you there? Yeah. Are you awake? Yeah. You sure? No. I don't know if anyone's in here. You may have to just go. Supercon, welcome to the stage, Michael Tatum.
Hello? Oh, crap. Oh. That's my voice. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, whatever. I don't know what time it is. I'm awake. Right? How are you all? That was a lame answer. I'll ask again. How are you all? That's more like it. Pardon me while I send dirty pictures to Todd Hammercorn. What? It's just our thing. We do that. Not really. I wish, but no. Hello, yes, I'm J. Michael Tatum, voice actor, sometime director, ADR script, adaptive writer. That's a lot of words to say. Writer. Yeah, so this is my Q&A. And how many of you were here yesterday? Any of you here yesterday? Oh, yeah, you were here. Like, I was here. I'm so sorry. You're gonna hear all the same crap twice. I so apologize, but thank you for those of you that came again, and I don't know why you're here. Are you just here to check on my facts to make sure I don't lie? I'm like, that's not what you said yesterday. Because I don't remember what I say, it's all BS. Anyway, so the idea is this is a Q&A panel, so you provide Q, and I provide the A. Sometimes I'm honest. But so a couple of ground rules, a couple of things. I love random questions. Like random questions. and I love enthusiasm from people in cowboy hats. I love random questions, and as most of you probably know, I can ramble on about all sorts of things, whether I know what the hell I'm talking about or not. So questions that inspire long-winded answers are kind of my specialty to delve into. Please don't ask me to come and sign stuff for you or like, marry you or things like that. The answer is no. No, it's not that you're not beautiful and I don't love you, it's just you. I'm spoken for. Yeah. So let's get the ball rolling. If you just want to raise your hand, I will call on you, and if you have a question, you darling, you look adorable. Look at that. Oh my God. Can you do me a quick favor before you ask your question? Can you stand up and just kind of prance around up here so everyone can see how awesome you look? Because that is a great outfit. Everyone, adorable, right? Look at this. Oh my God. Sorry, that's adorable. Like you're like a little ray of sunshine. What's your question, sweetheart?
Can you talk like Sebastian?
I can, indeed. In fact, that's why I got hired. So next question. No, sorry, love, I was just poking fun at you. I do that sometimes. I'm rather irascible and difficult at times. Oh look, she's over there going... That is what I love about playing Sebastian probably the most, is because when I'm at a convention, I can do that voice and whole lines of people just fall upon themselves like dominoes. Doesn't work like that in the outside world. When I just do this in the outside world, they just think I'm British and they turn the other way. They're like, oh, good for you, you're from another country. They don't care. But I do it here and they're like, oh. They just sort of melt into the floor. It's really quite nice. I love it. I love doing this accent. I think everyone should do a British accent. Right? There's something about, I don't know what it is, maybe it's sort of the memory we all have at one time or another, the British people ruled everything. And so maybe we all remember it, so when we hear a proper British voice, we just go, yes, master, what is it? It's just something about the British voice that commands respect and authority. Not all of them, sometimes it's like, oh, hello, how are you? You're a plumber, what on earth is that? Maybe not so much, but whatever. So yes, that was just for you, my dear, just for you, who looks amazing in her wonderful little hoop-skirted dress. That was so, Sebastian goes, squeak. Just for you. Who has another question? Your hand went up there, with the glasses.
What was your reaction to the corset scene?
I get asked that a lot. It's really funny because Sebastian doesn't have much to do vocally in that scene. So when I saw it, I was like, huh. I I just watched it and I'm like thinking, the first time I saw it, you know, Ian Sinclair, the show's director and also plays Bard, and a very, very dear friend of mine, loved when I could come in for a session and he had something to show me that he thought could shock me. Because nothing really, I mean, it takes a lot to make me go, oh, wow. And of course, the scene I watched that, and I'm like, okay, this show's taken a very different turn than I thought. All right. Oh, it's a corset. Oh, okay, well that makes sense then. And so Ian was like, that's all? That's all the reaction I get out of you? You are a jaded man. Yes. I got more of a reaction with the nun scene. Yes. The nun scene, which is what I'm legally supposed to call it. Oh, that was, because I'm like, Sebastian is doing what? With whom? Wow, someone's not a very good nun. So yeah, that was my reaction to the corset scene. Everyone asked me about the corset scene, and I'm just kind of like, oh, that was my reaction. It wasn't like I was like, oh, dear God, what on earth is this show? And I stormed out of the booth. No, doesn't happen. I've seen weirder. I have. Yes? Yeah, Rin. Someone's like, you worked on Rin. I'm like, yeah, Rin. Rin is like an entire corset scene. But there's no corset. Yeah, that's a show for the 18 up crowd, so yeah, that's not a safe one to talk about among, you know, polite company. Have a question there in the front row, yes.
How was it like doing the screenwriting for Romeo and Juliet?
I didn't actually do the writing for Romeo and Juliet. I did the directing of the dub. I will say, however, that Taliesin Jaffe and Patrick Seitz and the other writers on Romeo x Juliet. How many of you here have seen Romeo x Juliet, by the way? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, you're like the coolest people in the room. Let no one tell you differently. That show is amazing. But Taliesin Jaffe is a really, really good friend of mine. And when we figured out that I'd be directing the dub and that the show would be coming down the wire very soon and that he was going to be writing it, we had the chance to meet and get together and kind of talk, because he lives in LA and I live in Texas, so we don't like hang out. But I got to talk with him a little bit, and he was telling me all these ideas he had about what he was going to do with the scripts. Like, we're going to try to make them as Shakespearean as possible, even you know, using like iambic pentameter, you know, the blank verse style where we can. And he did an amazing job. I loved working on that show as a director so much. Like, if I could wake up every day for the rest of my life and be working on that show, I would be a happy man. Like, I never wanted it to end. And part of the reason is because the scripts were amazing. They're hands down the best adaptive scripts I've ever worked with as a director or as an actor. So, for those of you that have not seen the show Romeo x Juliet, you know how it ends. Don't come crying to me just because you flunked freshman English. But it's really, really good, and Brina Palencia plays Juliet in it. Of course, you know her as CL and as many other fine things, but that was one of her proudest moments, is playing Juliet. And my good friend Chris Burnett plays Romeo, who's really awesome. And God, I'm in it playing William Shakespeare. A very foppish William Shakespeare. It's really, really fun to do, but yeah. I'm a big Shakespeare nut, so it was an honor to get to work on that show. So yay. Thank you. I love when people bring up that show. I'm like, oh, that show doesn't get enough love because it's Shakespeare. And people are like, ugh, I hate Shakespeare.
So beautiful.
Oh, I love how everyone's like, no, Shakespeare's awesome, yay, yes. And, well, then go and watch it. Mr. Cowboy Hat.
Did you ever enjoy playing as Kiyoya Hotel for Horn High School Host Club? And did you ever acting in that show?
Yes, oh my God, that was a huge personal experience for me getting to be part of Oron. I knew absolutely nothing about the show until I had a chance to do some writing on it, or rather some time coding, which is something you do for other writers. Months before the show even started auditioning for the dub. And the very first episode of Oron that I happened to see, which just instantly grabbed me, and it really made me pay attention to Kyoya in particular, was episode 8, the Beach House episode. Otherwise known as the Hi, Haruhi, let me teach you a lesson with my shirt off episode. Because it starts out so goofy and zany and fun, and I'm like, all these characters are hilarious, and this is cute, and well, I'm just totally into it for that. And then it suddenly takes this very sort of dark, more sort of sober tone in that scene where I'm like, there is clearly a lot going on in that guy's head when he, wow, I like him. And when he walked away after, Tamaki's found them and he's freaking out and he just kind of slaps him in the face with suntan lotion. And he's like, where, idiot, blah, walks away. And then just when he says, something to the effect of, oh, interesting notion in its own way, I'm like, he's a complicated guy. Ooh, I want to play him. Which I never do. I never do that. When I get called into audition, I try to be as unaware as possible what's out there because I don't want to fall in love with something so much that it's going to break my heart when I don't get it, because acting is about rejection. Like, it is. I mean, you go into audition and you get like maybe every 5 or 6 roles that you go out for. You hear no so often that when you hear yes, it's like, what? So did I? No. Did I? No. Did I? No. Did I? Yes. Oh, okay. Wait, what? That's totally what it was like. And when I went in, and when I auditioned for Kyoya, which is months later, I was like so nervous. I'm like, I've been doing this for several years now. Why am I so nervous? I wanted him so badly. And then I got to play him, and I found out something about myself because I was a little in love with the character. I didn't quite understand why. It was just this kind of mysterious thing. He just did something for me. I got him, and I felt I knew where he was coming from and why he sort of played the role he did among this circle of crazy friends. And the more we saw him, the more we kind of get his backstory, and especially the episode where we see how he and Tamaki met and became friends. I cried like a baby when we recorded that. Like, when I kind of scared Caitlin Glass, Haruhi, who's also the show's director, because I got really physical in the booth when he tips the table over and then straddles Tamaki and is like, what the, I got that way in the booth, and she can see me because there's this wall of glass, so she can see everything I'm doing, and I'm just kind of like, shut up, Tamaki, and tears streaming down my face, and I'm like, I haven't had that organic and acting experience in the booth very often. It just doesn't happen. And Caitlin was like, honey, are you okay? I'm like, yes. And then the same episode, like when they pan back and you see that he's painted outside of his frame that gigantic, beautiful rose, I'm like, it's like my favorite. That show is so good, so good.
The whole season. And by the way, what do you think of when he was at the mall one day, just left him there, he wakes up, looks like the guy's ball and all that. And he just got mad.
Jerks. Those jerks. Those total jerks. Man, can you imagine being left in a mall without your phone, no way to contact anybody? They're off having ice cream and buying dogs. And you're in there going, I'm waking up on a bench in the middle of a mall. That would suck.
Yeah. Do you think the actual voice actors that play them would do that to you?
Yes. Yes, I do. And like Kyoya, I am not an early riser, so if people try to get me up before like noon, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Go away. I'm just like, seriously, especially when I was young, and I used to have a phone next to my bed when I was living at home with my parents as a teenager, but I was always, I don't know, if it was the weekend and it was noon, I was asleep. And my friends would call. They're bright and chipper morning people that you just can't stand. And they're like, come on, let's go play and frolic in the sun. I'm like, screw you. So if my phone rang before noon, I would just answer it automatically and be like, someone had better be dead. And I would throw things. I had like music and books and stuff on a shelf near my bed, and if someone came in the room, I would just throw it at them. That was so awful. I still kind of do that, but not as much anymore. So what's the word for it? Is it hypotensive beast? Is that what it is? Is that what Kyoya is? Hypotensive beast.
They're trying to keep the books and everything else. And with that attitude he also has, it's kind of scary at times when he gets really angry, like he scared that child.
Kyoya is not someone you want to be on the bad side of.
Just like you in the mornings.
Just like me in the mornings. Just like me in the mornings.
My bird's like that in the mornings. He does not want to wake up early in the morning.
It's a sign of intelligence, really. I think it's a sign of intelligence. I see a hand there in the back row. You with the necktie.
Have you ever been in character out in public?
Yes. Have I ever been in character out in public? Yes. I frequently do this. I'm a bit of a weird prankster guy. Not as much as, like, say, Brina Palencia, who likes to break into my house and rearrange my furniture. True story. How many of you here are fans of One Piece? Oh, you're gonna love this. Okay, I play Inaru in One Piece. Several other guys too, but Inaru was like the first guy I played. Inaru, of course, is this big douchey villain with the the perfect abs and lightning powers, and he has yes, I'm a god and blah 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 blah. And when I started doing that, it was 5 or 6 years ago. We recorded that, and I was still new to voice acting full time when I was portraying Inaru. And Mike McFarlane, who's now one of my very good friends, had the best time with me doing that voice. Like, he would laugh and just be like, "Will you just say fat cheeseburgers?" As Inaru. So I'd be in the mood, fat cheeseburgers. And he just thought it was hilarious, right? And so, I don't know, it began with him daring me to go out in public and do the Inaru voice. So we would break for lunch after a full day of recording, and we'd break for lunch, and Mike would make me order for everyone at the table in Inaru's voice just to see what the waiter or waitress would do. And it's funny because you can always tell a good waitress, they'll just completely be like, okay, that's fine, right? But never look at you sideways, and you're like, oh yes, this one would like the curry bun. I will take the 53. I'll take a do you have any pulled pork sandwiches? We'll take some of those. And they're just being like that big voice. And they would just, whatever. So what I started doing was driving through the drive-thru at Jack in the Box. And the routine, because Inaru has this laugh, he has that yah-ha-ha laugh, that's really, really crazy and over the top. So the routine that I would do, and I've done this dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of times at fast food places all around the studio and my home, so that everyone that works anywhere near me at a fast food place hates their lives. I go through the drive-thru, roll down the window, and when they ask for my order, I'll be like, yes, I would like a number 6 with curly fries and an Oreo cookie shake. And they always ask, will there be anything else? And I'm like, yeah. No, I'm good, thank you. And what's great is that they always got my order right when I did that. They never screwed it up once. They're like, okay, whoever this is, let's just get him the hell out of here now. So now, and that has evolved, 6 years on, to me, now my favorite thing to do, especially if there are other people in the car with me, is to embarrass all of them by doing that voice and ordering for all of them, which they hate. Or, when I'm by myself, I will order for 4 people in 4 different voices, 4 people all fighting over each other to get to the speaker. So then I'm like, yes, I want a number 6. I would, do they have cinnamon sticks? Oh, wait, ask him if they have a line. I want fries! And then I pull around and they're always like, and I'm like, oh, thank you, and I go. And then I eat all the food. So yes, frequently, I will be other characters. Those voices, they become kind of a permanent part of my psyche afterwards, so they tend to emerge at odd places. Sebastian comes out a lot just because that happens. so yes, you, my lord, you have a question, I see, down in the front row. So, do you want me to do Sebastian's voice as though he were drunk? I know a lot of British people, they don't sound terribly different when they're drunk. You must be from the northern part of England. Sit down. Sebastian drunk, I don't know, he would probably just sort of slow a little bit. He'd be drinking a gin and tonic, so he'd sort of, no officer, I'm not drunk, I've only had one drink, 5 times. Perfectly alright, you're perfectly, yes, what was the word? Lord, yes, my lord. You know, you're a brat. You're a brat, but it must be said, I love you. Now shut up and make your own damn tea. I'm busy being drunk. Well, I don't understand the obsession with hearing characters. What do you think they're like when they're drunk? Like, that's funny. That's really funny to me. You, sir, there in the back. Yes.
Are there any characters that you played that you really regret doing?
Characters that I regret playing? No, not a single one. Not a single one. And that's an honest answer. I mean, really, I look at it this way. I mean, sure, sometimes it's hard to muster as much enthusiasm for certain characters as for others. Like, you know, there are a few characters that fill me with joy, like, say, playing Isaac in Bacano, or Sebastian or Kyoya. I mean, those are really, really fun characters that you just have a ball recording. And not every recording session can be that way. But when you break it down, what I get to do for a living is so much fun that if ever I'm having a bad day or I'm not enjoying, you know, what I'm working with or whatever, I always remind myself that there are people that would kill to get to do what I'm doing. And how inhumane would it be of me to do it if I didn't enjoy it, when there are people lining up outside the building who would just die to get a chance to do this. So I have to honor that by taking what I do very, very seriously and making myself enjoy it. And I'm an actor, and then that's part of acting, is that, you know, I feel if I'm ever having a bad day or if I'm not enjoying the character, because I don't care how short-lived the character might be, or how silly it might be, or however the show may, I may not be the audience that's intended for that show, but if I'm playing a character, like, there is something about that character that I will find my way into, and I will make myself enjoy it, because if I can't do that, then I'm in the wrong business. It's a failure of my own imagination. Life is too damn short to just wait for things to make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. And so that's what I do. And so it's very fortunately because of that, I've never played a character that I've regretted. I love them all. So, thank you. Oh dear. Yes, what do you want?
We all love you very much. Just like
Aw,
yes,
thank
just like
you.
we were probably all gonna ask you about Italia. So we were just wondering what
No.
what was it? We still love you, Sebastian, though. We were just wanting to know what was it like working with all the characters, because I've seen like the extras and you guys are really funny. They want me to ask, what do you think about Ferk? And like the rest and stuff, if you know what that is.
What I think about what? Oh, Fruck. That is the greatest acronym in the world. Fruck. Let me just say now, I support Fruck. I think frucking is a good thing. But it's France. France makes sense with just about anybody. Because France is not picky. As far as what it was like to work on that show, like, that show is so energetic and over the top and hilarious and zany that we all had an absolute blast. Like, that was one of those things we went into and they're like, okay, you're gonna do an over the top French accent, you're gonna say a lot of really offensive things. But I'm always surprised, you know, going to a show like that. I was expecting something really silly, and it is certainly silly. But what surprised me was actually how very intelligent it is. It is very intelligent, and there's a lot of very clever historical references that are woven seamlessly into the comedy, which I think is brilliant. Especially for American audiences, because we're not terribly good on our history. We don't know what happened in our own damn country. We could care less about what's over there. So it's nice that people are into that show for, you know, other than just, you know, hey, do you think France and the UK are sexy? I mean, that's great too. But yeah, I had a blast working on that show. I think every time we went in, it was always a laugh fest, and it was always hard to stay in character because I would laugh. And if other people were already recorded, I would hear what they would do, and I would be like, oh my god, you have to give me a minute, that's, well. All right, let's do this. You know, I've always had to, like, really, and it's really funny. And the commentary tracks we did, that was one of the best times we've had doing commentary tracks, because they had us all in the studio at the same time, and we just tag teamed this commentary. So they're like 3 or 4 people coming in the booth at once, and for the whole, for the movie or whatever I think it was. And so we'd be like, Scott Singer would be like, all right, now you 3 go in. So we would go in and invade the booth and kick out the actors that were in there there, all of this being recorded, of course, and be like, all right, so, okay, now we're gonna do this, and we were all stuffing our face with cake, like cupcakes and pizza. It was ridiculous. We were all so fat and like ODing on chocolate by the time that was over with. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. That show was fun. I hope to be able to do it forever. You have a question there, madam. Glasses and the sort of lavender shirt.
Oh, I was going to ask, so I want to talk about food. What is your favorite food?
My favorite food? Oh, that's tough. All right, I'm going to reveal something very personal about myself. Because I feel like we know each other. I have a problem with ice cream. No. I mean, like, I love it too much. Now, I try not to eat that much anymore, but for the longest time, ice cream and I had an understanding. If it was around, I would eat it. I could go through a pint in a sitting. That's a bonbon to me. Like, that's whatever. And you want to know something really disgusting, an image that you will never get out of your head? You don't even have to eat it with a spoon. Just take the carton and squeeze the bottom of it like a frickin' push pop and like along the side. And my boyfriend of 10 years would be like, I want you to do that in a mirror. And I'm like, no. So, and every time my boyfriend would leave the house on an errand, I would ask him, you know, could you bring me back a pint of ice cream? And he'd be like, yes. So he got so sick of doing that one afternoon he got this bright idea, because he doesn't really eat ice cream, he brought me a carton. So here's an M carton that should last you a week. Stop asking me to get you ice cream, I have other things I have to do. I ate an entire carton in a sitting accidentally. I mean, seriously, and it didn't have time to turn into like soup. You have to imagine I'm sitting there with eating it with a freaking cookie spoon. I'm like just, I'm happy as a clam, just going away thinking, I'll put this up in a second, scrape. Oh my God, I've just finished a gallon of Dutch chocolate. Do I need to call someone? Am I gonna die? What is this? Like, oh my God, my heart, how's my heart? You know, I'm freaked out. And that was when I decided I needed to take a break from ice cream, so I got a gym membership. Sort of just the greatest thing to do. And then seriously, this is another thing that comes from my friend Mike McFarlane, who I told the interview story about earlier. When he and I go out to eat, if it's just the two of us, we do dinner together all the time. We do this thing that's called cry eating, where you have to pretend to be sincerely bawling while stuffing your face with whatever's in front of you. And just so the waitstaff has something to do. They have a story to tell, and you have to really try to sell it. So we would try to eat cry each other from across the table. We'd be talking and be like, and then the waiter comes over like, no, we're good. Can we get some more breadsticks? Thank you so much. They walk away. That's the thing. I'm an asshole. Basically. This is the sort of thing I do in public. Oh, thank you. All right, let's see. This, you there toward the end. Oh my God, grow up. You're like, I love you. Maybe I'll get you later. You're like, maybe they're gonna ask the question you were gonna ask. You don't know. What was your question?
What is the weirdest request you've ever gotten from a fan?
Hang on. Let me calibrate to make sure this is safe to tell this story.
I'm guessing it must be a pretty darn weird one.
What? I love these guys back there with pizza going. No, okay, the weirdest thing, okay, this is such a weird story, okay, forgive me. I'm gonna be vague, because I don't want the people involved that were my friends to necessarily know that I've told this story about them. I was at we'll say a convention. It was a convention. There were fans, there were signings and pictures and stuff, and everyone was lovely. Afterwards, me and another voice actor friend of mine, very dear friend, stepped outside to get some fresh air. And while we were waiting there, a woman approached us.
This is gonna be bad.
Oh my god. It's like, woman, oh dear. She was not dressed appropriate for her age. And by that, I mean she was probably 40 years too old to be wearing what she was wearing. And God love her, just not the right body type.
Oh my gosh.
And she had this corset on. Now, it was an awesome corset. The corset, which apparently she had made, so kudos to that. It was like a steampunk corset, really, really awesome. Beautiful, in fact, and in fact, didn't look bad on her. I mean, she wore that, well. Well, she came up and she had a special black Sharpie that she handed to both of us and asked if we would sign the corset, even though the corset was black. And she explained, in a very roundabout way, that she has a lot of signatures on this corset, but you can't see them all. So she's the only one that knows they're there, which I'm thinking, it's kind of interesting, kind of cool, whatever. And I'm gonna sign this because I don't want you to murder me. Because there was kind of that vibe. She had a sort of Lizzie Borden vibe going for her, you know. So me and my friend were signing away, and while we were signing, let us just say this person was really, really enjoying the fact that we were signing her corset. In a way that made us very uncomfortable. The only thing that saved it in memory to make it funny instead of just creepy was the fact that she was enjoying it so much that while we were signing it, she farted. And we're signing away. And I look at my friend and we're like, we can't laugh, we cannot laugh, we cannot laugh. Because she did not acknowledge this fart at all. She didn't own it, she was just like, and then she took the pen, she thanked us very much, and walked away. And we just thought, did that just happen? Wow, okay, that just happened. That is the weirdest thing that's like fan related that has ever happened to me. And I'm sure there are worse that could happen, but I've never really had bad experiences. Like no one's ever tried to like kill me or like dry hump my leg or something. Like no one's tried to do that yet. Don't get any ideas, any of you, please. God, no. Oh my God, no. They have security people here. I will use them. Grell, do you want to ask a question, Grell? Oh dear. What can I do for you, my dear?
Well, hi there. I am asking, I would like your opinions on Grell and Sebastian as a pairing.
Oh, as a pairing. I think it's incredibly hot. But I'm rather biased. I have kind of a thing for redheads, so yeah, go ahead. More of that. I think Grell and Sebastian would make a remarkable couple. Don't you? I mean, don't you? Oh, you're like, no. Well, I'm so sorry. It's okay. There's enough Sebastian to go around. Oh my God. You with the purple hat, looks like a cat. Is it the Cheshire Cat? Awesome. Any other couples that I think are hot from other anime? Yeah, there's a few. My favorite Oron pairing is Kyoya and the twins. Again, it's the redhead thing. But the twins would be so much fun because they're so crazy and like it's amazing. Let me think. I don't know. FMA? I don't know. Scar and Scarlet and Mustang. Anyway, hey, don't take that away from me. Don't take that away from me. Oh my God. You, sir, you have a question. Yes.
Yes, I do. How about we talk about some Kororo, huh?
Oh, some Sergeant Frog.
Yeah, what was it like working with the other actors, especially to Mama? How did you feel?
Well, here's the thing. When we record as dub actors, we don't get to record together. All of our stuff is recorded independently because we have to time to flaps so specifically that it would be impossible to do with a group of people. So they have us come in individually, and it's kind of sad. A lot of times we go years before we meet someone we've actually been in a show with. Now, in the case of Sergeant Frog, that I knew everyone that was in it. We all knew each other quite well. And Brina, who plays the little psycho, Brina is like that in real life. I'm happy to say, she really is. Brina is psychotic and brilliant and talented, and I love her to death. But oh my God, there's something wrong with her. Seriously, I'm not lying when I tell you she and her brother both broke into my house once when I was out and rearranged my furniture. Left a $5 bill on the couch with a note on it that said, "We had fun, thanks." And in my fridge was ice cream, again, a pint of ice cream with my name written on it. I thought the Manson family had been in my house. It was gonna kill me. I called the police and everything, and Brina waited 4 or 5 hours to tell me, "Oh yeah, that was just us." Brina she's incredibly talented. I mean, that Sergeant Frog is a lot of fun. It's kind of in the same vein as far as the level of energy it requires to say doing something like Italia, because it is so manic. The energy is so high, and everyone is just brah. And Dororo is a very weird voice for me. It's not a voice I usually get to explore because he's very sort of like this, and everything is, I'm kind of a wussy, and I'm crying all the time because I just want to plant flowers, and all of you forget about me. Do you know his katana, right? His name's Steven, right? Yeah, his name's Steven. There's an episode when it breaks and he goes, "My Steven!" I named that. It was an ad-lib because the engineer on that show's name was Stephen Hoff, a very dear friend of mine, whom that voice scared. He didn't like me doing that voice. He's like, "Yeah, you're good, but it's weird watching that voice come out of your face." And so I started telling him I would turn to Joel McDonald, the show's director, and tell him "I'm gonna name my sword needs a name. I'm gonna name it Steven. Hey Steven, you're my sword." You're like, that's great. That's awesome. Thank you. Could you back off the mic a little bit, please? Thank you. Okay. And so that was the running joke for a year. And then when it finally broke in that one episode, I'm like, "My Steven!" And Joel was like, "We are totally keeping that. That's now part of the dub. That is now canon. The katana's name is Steven." Little fact for you there. So yeah. Oh, I love Frog. I love Frog so much. You, my dear, in the second row with the red wig. I assume that's a wig. If that's your hair, that's awesome hair.
I know you like Doctor Who, and I was wondering if...
Right. There will always be civilization so long as that is the response to Doctor Who being brought up.
I was wondering if you came up with the part and painted it white when Fran says, if you can only go so far with time-traveling phone booths.
No, sad to say, I did not come up with that. However, Jamie Markey, who's the narrator for the show and also the writer, knows that I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, and I'm pretty sure she wrote that in there just to give me something to chew on Doctor Who was, which was very, very kind of her, because I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. You have no idea. I've been watching it since before most of you were born.
I bet you have t-shirts too.
I have t-shirts, my house is filled with Doctor Who memorabilia. I have 14 of them. Yes, I have a lot. You, madam, with the glasses and the neutron shirt on.
No, Homestuck.
Oh. All right, I'll leave you two alone for a moment. So, what's your question?
So then what would you do if the target just landed in the front of your house?
What would I do? I would wait for the doors to open and be like, "Hi, I'm your new companion. Move, move, move." Yeah, that would be. Are you kidding? If the TARDIS showed up? I mean, first there'd be a lot of this. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yeah, yeah.
They go to England, they have them everywhere.
Oh, I've been to England. I know. There may or may not be a TARDIS at my house. My house is loaded with Doctor Who memorabilia, trust me, you have no idea. My goal is to have a room of my house look like the TARDIS console room from the Tom Baker era.
Awesome.
Yeah. Alice, right? Are you Alice from... Okay. Your question, my dear.
Did you enjoy dubbing Lynn from Ghost Hunt?
It's okay, breathe. I know he's hot. Yes, it's fun. Lynn was very fun. Not a very chatty person. Doesn't talk a lot. But he did get to say the words something along the lines of, "I hate the Japanese," which was really odd to be saying when you're in a Japanese show. And I think, is that real? Well, no, he's Chinese, so there's a precedent for that, you know. And I'm like, oh, okay. I liked Lynn. I love his hair. I really wanted his hair. He had like the best hair of anyone in that show. And when we started Ghost Hunt, it was not the second thing, but it was one of the first things I did with Todd Habercorn, and he and I did so many things together in the early days. How many here are fans of Holic, or you may know it as Triple X Holic? Okay, that is one of my all-time favorite shows I've ever worked on. I think it's beautiful. That is where I met Todd, and he and I became really good friends, and then we just had a vocal styles that complemented each other really well, so we started getting cast as, you know, sort of teammates or brothers, siblings, enemies, friends, whatever. And so when we got to do Lynn, those two characters were kind of a darker version of Watanuki and Domaki. So it was kind of interesting for us to kind of get to explore yet another kind of variation on that relationship that we'd established in Holic. So I'll always have fond memories of working on Ghost Hunt. Thanks for bringing that up. It's a good show. Let's see. You with the purple and black striped shirt.
I just want to say how much I loved your role in Dark and Black.
Thank you.
I'll say that before, so that's why I brought it up. And also to bring back up Orion High School Host Club with your the mall episode. It actually, like to me, like how much did you love like how it didn't just show Yoda's
Dark
how
side.
selfish he was, but how he was also like a loving person who cared about other people.
I love it. I actually got to write the script for that episode, which was really a lot of fun. Getting to see this character kind of... I love characters who your opinion changes as the show gets going. Like, you think one thing about Kyoya, for example, but in that particular episode, you understand that he's simply more complicated than that. That he's not just a self-interested jerk who happens to occasionally be nice if it suits him. But it's a mystery. Like, you understand that there are deeper things going on. That there's some motivation, and it's likely as not tragic, or at least a sad motivation behind why he feels the need to put on that facade of being the jerk. And on top of that, the facade of being the nice guy who's really a jerk underneath. So he's really layered, and that was a really good episode because you got to see him out of his usual context. And that's always a fascinating way to see characters. And that doesn't always work. Sometimes you take a character out of context and they're no longer coherent. They don't make sense anymore. But that episode between Haruhi and Kyoya really brought him out even more. And I loved, it brought out the relationship between Haruhi and Kyoya more too, because that is when you begin to understand how they are very much sort of different sides of the same coin, you know. She's much, they're both very practical, they both kind of stand apart from everything and kind of watch it from the outside in. And they both have this kind of healthy respect for each other. They're kind of like, in some ways they are like different versions of each other. And that particular episode, when they bond, you begin to really see them almost as siblings. And I really, really love that. So thank you. The mall episode is awesome. Do you have a follow-up question?
Well, that's not really a follow-up question, but yeah, were there any twins?
Yeah. Hikaru and Kaoru. Or Tweedlehot and Tweedlehotter.
You've already said how
I suppose I could clear it up. I mean, the thing about it is, what you have to remember is when people are that age, your sexual orientation is still very complicated. Because I don't know, I think your tastes are still forming what you like, what you know, what you're comfortable with. And that's something what I really love about Oran is it really explores that. It's a very subversive show in a way, just because it takes those things for granted. Like these characters is just, that's who they are. I think between the twins, I don't know that, and Greg and Todd, who played them, could probably give you more insight into their performances than I could. But I always sort of understood the twins as being, you know, I think that Kaoru is probably gay, and Hikaru is not. But that they play gay together because it's hot and the girls go crazy for it. And they do. I don't understand it, but they do. And I think the two of them love each other, of course, because they're twins, and twins have a very special bond. And granted that they've grown up in a rich family that's kind of always ignored them, they're really one unit. They're one soul. And I think Hikaru falls in love with Haruhi. And please forgive me if I'm going outside of canon. I have not read the manga, so I don't know how it all plays out. But I think Hikaru definitely loves Haruhi, or at least has a crush on her. But I think is conflicted about that because his love for her threatens the bond he has with his brother. You know, it's like she's an interloper, and I think that's why he's so weird and with her. Like he loves her, but he doesn't want to love her. And Kaoru, I think, respects her, but I think loves his brother and wants his brother to be happy and knows that Haruhi, or being with someone else, would ultimately make him happy. And I think Kaoru is the nicer one between the two. Hikaru is kind of impulsive and a bit of a jerk sometimes, and Kaoru seems to be the nicer one. Which I love. I mean, it's such a complicated thing. You know, here are these two guys that have built their entire lives around trying to be the same person. You know, they love playing the which one is Hikaru, which one is Kaoru game. But when you get to know them, again, they're enormously distinct people and really interesting characters each in their own right, and they're really very different, which I think is great. So, to answer your question in a sort of blanket way, who knows? They're still young, and who knows? We'll revisit them in a few years when they're in their late 20s and see what they've decided on for themselves. So, how am I doing on time, guys? How much?
Yeah, well,
Just cracking the whip.
Oh, how much? 5 minutes? I've got 5 minutes, okay. So I've got time for just a couple more questions.
Wait. You got 2 minutes until 2:30, so you got 5 minutes.
No, I've got about 10 minutes, actually. Yeah, everyone's like, oh, yay! Okay, so let's take the question from this side of the room over here. That you, sir, the tricorn. Did I say sir? I can't tell. Are you? Yeah, you. Yes, sorry. Spain. Thank you. You're far away. It's hard for me to see. I just see the tricorn.
Okay. Anyways, question. What character have you enjoyed the most voice acting?
Oh, I hate that question. I do. What is this obsession with favorites? I think, you know what, and I don't mean to pick on you, but everyone asks that question, and I think you ask it because you're gambling on, please say my favorite, please say my favorite, please say my favorite. No. I've come in my life now to believe I don't like to play the favorites game because there's something to love about all of them, and I think the answer to that question is whoever I happen to be thinking about at the time, because I love all of them. Again, getting back to the gentleman who asked me earlier if I ever regretted a role, same thing is I've never had a role that I didn't absolutely love because that's my job to love it, and I believe in it, and if I can't love something, then why am I doing this? You know, why? There are other people that can do it better if I'm not able to find my way into it. So I love every character, really. It's hard. And honestly, if I gave you that answer, you have to understand, all those characters are still up here in my head, and if I chose one over the others would give me hell for weeks. If I said Kyoya, then Isaac would go, why didn't you pick me? Or Scar, be like, thanks a lot, man. I mean, like, I'd be no end. It's like picking a favorite child. I can't do it. I can't do it. So, sorry.
And another question. I forgot.
And another question. What's my question?
Okay.
can I just say it? Okay.
Goodness.
What was it like working with America, the voice actors of America and England? Also, what do you think of Face, and how do you like US times UK?
That's a lot of questions. Can I just answer one of those so we can get to some others? Because I only have 5 minutes. Which one do you want me to answer?
What was it like working with America and England?
He's an utter douche. Totally a method actor. No, Eric Vale is really, really funny, and he completely owned the role, and he's just a fun guy. I mean, we all get along really well. We're like family, so we like to bust each other's shots and play pranks on each other and leave bombs in the booth. Not real bombs, you know, bombs, where we say something horrible so they'll hear it in their pre-roll and it'll screw them up when they try to read it. We love doing that all the time. So yeah, Eric Vale is an extraordinarily talented person and enormously funny, and anytime I get to be with him in anything, I jump at the chance because I think he's amazing. All right, we'll come over here now. Let's see. I see you in the very back row with glasses, and you've got kind of light-colored hair.
Have you ever tried to throw silverware like Sebastian?
No, I have not. I have tried to. I've thrown dishes, but not a Sebastian, just dishes. Opa! Whatever. But no. Where would I do that? Where do you go? Is there like a silverware, like cutlery range you can go to and like? I mean, I don't want to be the one guy at the gun range who's like out there with like, you know, a set of sterling silverware and everyone's going, what the hell's with this guy? Like, they've got guns, I don't want to do that. You in the front row, Undertaker.
Okay. If there's any pizza left, can I have some?
It's not my pizza! I can't give away other people's pizza! Sorry. You'll have to talk to them. They want your pizza.
Yeah.
It's gone. Let's see. You, sir, in the very back with the blue shirt on. Yes.
This is weird. Thanks for coming out and answering everybody's questions, but I'd like to defer my question because this girl's had her hand up since I've been in the room.
Oh my God, you are such a gentleman. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't see you. What's your question? How does it feel when I'm acting as France? Very creepy and awesome. I have a lot of fun with friends. I usually wear a blue Snuggie while I do it. Do y'all know the blue Snuggie story? It's true. I was recording Black Butler and France on the same day, and I couldn't do the accent. I couldn't do the French accent. I lost it because I've been doing Sebastian for like 4 hours, and I was like, what the hell? Why can't I? No. Damn it. And Scott Seger, the show's director, was freaking out and was like, why can't you do it? You've been doing this for like a year and a half. What is wrong with you? And then there just happened to be a blue Snuggie in the booth. Someone had left. And I thought, just inspired, I'm like, Scott, I'm going to put on this blue Snuggie. I'm getting kind of a Frosty the Snowman Magic Top Hat vibe from this thing. And so I put it on, and the minute I did, I'm like, oh, there's the accent. I just have to put something blue on. Oh. And that Snuggie became like the boot Snuggie. Like no one else touches it now, apparently. It's just mine, but I didn't take it home. It's there in the booth waiting for me. If I ever have to reprise the role of France, they will take it out, dust it off, and make me wear it while I record. So yes. All right, so I have time for like a couple more questions. Let's try to make them quick. You, madam, right there in the glasses.
In your opinion, who's the sexiest character you've ever played?
The sexiest character I've ever played? Oh God, that's like asking me my favorite. I don't know. Sebastian's pretty damn sexy. But having said that, that's a really high price to pay for being with someone sexy. Like, I don't know that it's worth my soul. So maybe I would have to maybe go with someone else, not who won't eat my soul. France is a whore. Scar's pretty hot. Scar's pretty hot. But how difficult would that be to deal with a relationship? He's such a brooding man.
But he's buff.
Huh?
But he's buff.
Well, he's buff, but he's so moody.
Dark chocolate.
I do like dark chocolate. I don't know. You know what? Okay, I have a weird answer for you. I think the sexiest character I've ever played has to be Isaac Dean from Bacano. Think about it, okay? Enormously fun to be around. Total cosplayer because like he's in a different outfit every 5 minutes. I'm a cowboy, I'm a train robber, I'm a conductor, I'm whatever. And he's just fun. How much fun would that be to be with Isaac? I think Isaac, and he's cute, he's totally cute. So if he and Miria don't work out, I'll be waiting. All right, I have time, I think, for one more question, and then we'll wrap it up. So again, all of you, thank you for coming. If I didn't pick on you, please don't feel bad. There'll be other Q&As. In fact, there's another one tomorrow. So the final question will have to go to you in the front row in the gray. Can I do what? Why did I pick you? All right, yes, I'll do it, and then we'll have to go so we clear the room out for the next thing, okay? Oh my god, my voice is gonna crack doing it. Hold on. I didn't understand any of that. You're not gonna join me? We're not gonna make it around? Okay, fine.
I'll join you.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. There you go! Thank you all for coming. I will be here all weekend. I've got autograph signing sessions and all that. Please do not approach up here and make a big deal, because I can't sign stuff or like take pictures here. I may hang out in the hallway for a few moments, but we have to clear out of here so the next panel can come up and do their thing. Thank you all for coming. Have fun, be safe, and I love you.